I'm joined here today by the one, the only, we know who it is, of course, Raymond Daniels, coming off of an extremely strange fight at Bellator 245. What's going on, man? How are you?
Been doing good, man. Just glad to be back home, back at my martial arts school, world champion karate. Looking forward to, continuing to give back. I mean, we had these crazy fires out here while I was going. So I come home and my car is like covered in ash because I didn't park it in the garage. My bad. My wife was a little bit upset at me, but I apologize. I was in a rush when I was leaving. No, but it's a little crazy. It's good to be back home, and there's no place like home.
And I heard everything was red or orange and stuff like that. Was that your experience when you got back?
Yeah. I mean, it was a little more gray, but the sky's been like red, and it literally looks like, like we don't get snow out here in Southern California. We
Okay.
get it was like ash snow like coming down. So it's such a surreal experience. I remember seeing it one time and it almost looked like something from Game of Thrones when one of the dragons like blew fire on the mountain, and it's just like you just see this sea of like a river of red just on the mountains and stuff like that. So it's a definitely a different experience if you've never seen anything like it before. So
It's definitely pretty crazy. I'm over in North Carolina. We're all the way across the
oh,
country. We don't have that stuff. So we have mosquitoes. It's not quite the same.
hey, those mosquitoes are serious business. I don't
Right.
know what it is, but whenever I go out that way, they must think I'm really tasty. Like, ooh, that California skin. I don't know what it is.
It's flattering because you feel wanted, but it's like, I don't want to be wanted by them.
Yeah, there it is, right? That's the truth.
All right, so listen, you're coming off of a very strange fight, right? Obviously, you know that you were there. How do you look back on the weekend? Does it have sort of like a tainted feeling? Because it's a fight that went a good amount of time, but when you look back at it, it's not a win, but it's not a loss either.
Yeah, it's one of those. To be honest, it's one of those feelings that's kind of unfulfilling because you train so hard and you have a goal in mind. And whether you accomplish or you don't accomplish a goal in life, you have a gauge. You know what I mean, of how you did, of what you either need to improve on, or what you. So it kind of left like a little bit of like a bad taste in my mouth because I didn't really get to finish, and I felt like I was just kind of starting to even get warmed up in the fight. It was a great opportunity for experience for me going into the second round, in MMA because I had been finishing, a couple of my guys, pretty much in the first round. That's why I was looking forward to fighting Peter, just because I know that he's a guy that bites down on his mouth guard. He likes to come forward strong. He puts his heart out there and he just comes forward really strong. So I was looking forward to fighting him and just having the opportunity to show some of the different skills that I've been working on. I got a chance to, because I got mounted, to show a little bit of, my jiu-jitsu that I could get up from the ground. I was trying to do some wrestling stuff just because I've been working with Mark Munoz, who's an amazing wrestling coach. So it was a little bit unsatisfying. It's unfortunate that it went down like that. Like I said, I've had over about 40 something fights that I've never had any type of, fluke accidents or anything like that happen before. I hit him with the first one. I haven't seen the fight myself personally. I thought the first one was like right below the belly button, but right in the bladder area. I'll have to see it again. Like I said, I haven't seen it. But I thought it was on the bladder, which can feel like a groin shot. It might have been in the groin. I don't, I'm not 100% sure. The second time I definitely kicked him in the groin because I was aiming for it underneath his ribs on his left side, and he kicked me and it hit my shoulder, which knocked me off balance. Also, he didn't land his foot fast enough. Not to say obviously it's his fault, but a person's foot usually comes back down. But my spin kick happened so fast that I caught him while his foot was in the air. Thus, his body is kind of like lifted up with the shot. So it's an unfortunate thing. Like I said, accident happened. I got myself kicked in the groin twice during that same exact match. He kicked me in the groin 2 times. Once he threw an inside leg kick that hit my groin. We kind of just slapped hands. And the second time I did a knee tap, and he fell against the fence, and I threw the roundhouse kick to the side of his head, and he did a back kick right in my groin. It just happens to be that my groin shots were a little more devastating than his.
And so a lot of the media, we were speaking about it, but the big thing is screaming, right? With the empty arena and stuff, we could hear the screaming. What's your thoughts? You're right there. Like, it's got to be terrifying to hear someone scream like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hit. I mean, it's a rule that, as far as a professional athlete, not to obviously hit each other in the groin. It's kind of like, the eye pokes. Eye pokes happen all the time, even when you tell people over and over, right? But it was definitely different. I've been kicked in the groin. I don't compare people's pain or tell people how to experience pain or what their pain tolerance or level is, but I had never seen anybody respond that way especially in a professional setting, or professional athletes, for a groin strike. You usually see them go down, they kind of squints a little bit, but I'd never seen anybody, as far as roll, scream, or in agony or pain like that before. So obviously, his pain level must have been big, but like I said, I try to take my groin shots in stride. I don't know what his pain level or pain tolerance was, but it seemed like he was in a lot of pain. But um, I think that's one of the issues. Sometimes people try and tell people what they should or should not feel, or how they should feel when something happens to them. It's kind of one of the, I think, the problems going on with the world, telling somebody how they should feel during that experience. So I obviously can't tell him how he should have felt or how he should have dealt with that situation. But I hadn't seen anybody deal with it that particular way. And it's unfortunate that it was something that ended up stopping, our competition.
And so when you landed that second kick, did you know right then and there it's over? Like as soon as we heard him scream at home, we all thought, okay, there's no way. But did you know, like, oh damn, like it's gonna be a no contest?
Well, when we came out in the second round, I felt the difference of his cardio. I felt like he wasn't responding as quick as he was in the first round. And then when I hit him with the first one, like I said, I thought it was the bladder. Again, I have to check it out, but I know it hit low enough where maybe the judges don't think it's there, or could have been there. So I know I was surprised he honestly got up. After I hit him with the second one, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't believe that happened again. And and I kind of figured he wasn't getting up after the second one. I know, like I said, I got hit twice, but I know that a spin kick is probably the hardest technique you can throw in all combat sports. And to take that one, especially directly in the groin, is a painful. And then, like, when they pulled his cup out, to remove it before I think he had a soft cup on too, which is usually ideally not a type of cup you wear in combat sports. You know what I mean? You don't usually wear that type of cup because just the limited amount of protection that it gives you. So maybe that's possibly what also caused, maybe a little more pain, just because he didn't have the right type of protection. So, but again, yeah, I didn't think he was going to get up after that second one. And then the type of pain he was in, the sounds he was making, I assume that like something erupted or something like that, because it was just, yeah, oh my gosh, I was just like, oh, like I didn't know how to feel about it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. And yeah, I'm glad he's okay though. You know what I mean? I even reached out to him, on a personal thing, just to make sure that he was okay, and he told me that he was good. So very fortunate and blessed that that he is okay.
And so, on a more positive note, we know that you have obviously a very flashy stand-up style and everything, which has made people, fans, media as well, start talking about matchmaking and all that stuff. A name that's floating around has been Michael Venom Page, and it sounds like people that's a fight that's starting to gain a little bit of steam. Obviously, he has a fight booked. You had a fight booked, but do you think that's realistic at all, or is that just like a pipe dream we need to all give up on?
No, no, no. I don't think it's necessarily a pipe dream or anything like that. I think Mike and I come from similar backgrounds. You know what I mean? We're both sport karate athletes. We've competed against each other numerous amount of times on the sport karate circuit. So I'm a little bit older than Mike, so I have some years of life experience and just experience in the sport. And Mike kind of gets his style and his movement and things like that probably a little bit from my style. He's basically taken little bits and pieces of what I do, and he's made it into his own MVP monster that he's got going. You know what I mean? Which is amazing. I'm a huge fan of Mike. But as far as us fighting each other, I think I would love to fight Mike if there was something behind it, meaning a title shot, or if he had the title, or if I had the title. For me, that would be an ideal time for us to cross, swords, so to speak, again, because I have enough respect from him, and we've had a chance to test each other's skill set. It was, again, a completely different platform. So I know people would love to see, like, okay, these are two guys with flashy styles. Who has the flashes? Who's going to be able to implement, their style? So I would love to, to compete against him. But I think there's enough MMA fighters out there for him to fight and for me to fight, for us to have, our fights with these other people. And if we meet each other at the top, at the pinnacle, I think that would be a great opportunity, especially since we come from, again, the same neighborhood. We both have mutual, I have a lot of respect for him. We hit each other up before fights, we'll see each other good skills. If he's in town or I'm in town, we usually come hang out with each other. So, I'm kind of like his big brother in certain respect, but at the same time, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. So I'm pretty sure Mike would be willing to fight me for the title if I had it, or vice versa.
That makes a lot of sense. What's kind of your future in MMA? Because you're in a weird spot, right? Like you have this big background in other combat sports. You don't have that many MMA fights. I believe you're at 4. What's kind of the future here? Do you have something specific that you're looking at? Like, well, what's kind of your MMA future look like?
Well, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, Raymond, why are you doing this? You're one of the this and that with kickboxing. You can kind of ride off into the sunset. You know what I mean? As this legendary kickbox fighter that does all these, these crazy things that no one's seen before. But for me, it's the continuous growth as a martial artist. I am 40, so I am older. So you don't normally see I had to take all these extra tests and stuff like that. They're like, "How many fights do you have?" And you're going in MMA. Obviously, I'm a different breed of animal that's coming in, with a different experience. So I bring different experience to the table. So, I don't want to take the long path. I don't want to travel down this whole yellow brick road and off to see the wizard, and compete against all these different people and different options. I want to go straight up to the creme of the creme, the Wizard of Oz right now, which is Douglas Lima. So my goal is to fight a number of fights that I need in order to be able to challenge somebody of his caliber. I think, to be honest, if you want the truth, I think he is probably one of the best welterweights, or if not the best welterweight in the world. Maybe people don't give him enough, credit. Why? Because he's respectful, he's humble. He doesn't talk stuff about people. He doesn't try to put on a fake persona for a short period of time in order to get publicity and stuff like that. So I think he's a great champion. I think he's one of the best champions in the world, especially at that weight class. And I would love to have the opportunity to compete against somebody of that magnitude. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm in MMA, is because I want to continue to evolve as a person, as a martial artist. And I think that that is what I have my eyes on, is the Bellator MMA title.
All right, and one last question for you, kind of a two-part question. I know it can be a little bit tough, but realistically, when do you think we're going to see you fight again? And who do you want next?
For me, honestly, I didn't. Unfortunately, my fight didn't, finish out how I wanted. I didn't take a lot of damage or anything. I think he only hit me, hit me with a few leg shots, but like 3 punches total throughout the entire first and part of the second round. So I didn't really get a lot of shots landed on me. So I didn't really take a lot of damage. You see in my face, I think I hit his elbow with my foot when I threw a round kick. So foot's a little bit swollen up, but I think I'll be back to action next week. They've got some amazing Bellator cards coming up. They got the MVP card. They got Paul Daly's card coming up. Um, they got Chet Congo card. They got Masasi and Lima. I would love to honestly be on that card. That's an amazing card. It's the end of October. It gives me, I'm not out of shape by any means. So, just taking a week off to kind of let the body recover a little bit, and then hop back in the training lab with Coach Sam Calavita. As far as me, I'm interested in moving up. This last fight, Peter, everybody's like, "Oh, do you want to run it back?" Like, I'll do it if that's what Bellator wants me to do. But honestly felt like I was in control of the fight. And if I go in there and do it again, I won't try all the wrestling stuff. I'll just go in and finish the fight quicker. But I'm interested in fighting somebody higher up on the ladder, you know what I mean, and continuing to progress, because he's not my end goal, you know what I mean. He's just a stepping stone in order for me to get to where it is I need to be in life. So that being said, I don't necessarily need to look back or to the side, since that fight didn't finish, and onward and upward. But if again Bellator is interested in that, I'll do that. But I'm open to fighting anybody. It doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm just, I'm here, and I'm looking to challenge everybody who considers themselves the best in the division. And I think that, again, trying to get as close as I can to Lima.
All right, well, there we go. Thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, the fight didn't pan out, but I'm sure we're going to see you fight again soon. Thank you again, man.
No, thank you, thank you. I look forward to coming back and producing some more highlights. I do high risk techniques, so high risk, high reward, also high consequences sometimes when you miss your target. And again, it's a series of unfortunate events that happen that night, and you live, you learn, you grow, and you continue to move forward.